NBA 2K27 is almost here, and you might be wondering whether it's just roster update disguised as a new release or actually a significant upgrade over last year's game. I wasn't particularly impressed when 2K first started showing the game, but the more information they released, the more I realized how substantial some of these changes could actually be. If, and that's a big if, they are implemented properly. So before you spend your money on NBA 2K27, let's go through the most important things you need to know. And keep in mind, I haven't played the game yet, so this is not a review. Everything here is based on what 2K has shown and announced so far. So let's get into it. NBA 2K27 officially releases on September 4th for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, PC through Steam, and Nintendo Switch too. There are no PlayStation 4 or Xbox One versions this year. The standard edition costs $70 and gives you the game, with pre-orders also including 10,000 VC. Then there is Deluxe edition for $100. This one gives you early access starting August 26th, 100,000 VC, and a bunch of additional MyCAREER and MyTeam bonuses. And finally, the Ultra edition, which costs $150. You get everything from Deluxe version, but with 135,000 VC, the Season 1 Pro Pass, and Pro Passes for Seasons 7, 8, and 9. There are also additional MyTeam rewards arriving later in the year. And if you decide to pick up NBA 2K27, I will leave my fanatical affiliate link in the video description. They usually have good deals on new releases, and buying through that link also helps support the channel. Now let's talk about the actual changes. And gameplay is where things start getting really interesting. The biggest focus this year seems to be defense. See, NBA 2K26 gave offensive players a lot of advantages, and 2K27 appears to be trying to bring defense back up to the same level. Hands-up defense now has aggressive and conservative contest options. Defensive cutoffs have been expanded, and there's a new collision system where good positioning can actually knock the ball loose in more natural ways than before. Even ankle breakers are now supposed to be logic-based rather than essentially being triggered by a chance, which sounds pretty damn cool. But one of the changes that I am personally most interested in is the AI. The new offensive AI should be designed to make teams actually play through the star players. So someone like Nikola Jokic should properly become the hub of offense rather than just being, another player running sets. Teams should also adapt during games to exploit favorable matchups, while defensive AI and switching have supposedly been improved as well. And if that all works properly, this could be huge for people like me who like to spend most of their time playing offline. Finishing is also becoming more contextual. Layups can adjust depending on the situation, step-throughs being a big thing, and 2K has changed how the dunk meter works. There are also expanded dribbling options, new advanced controls, and changes to rhythm shooting. And all of this comes with more than 7,000 new pro play animations. So yeah, I don't expect 2K27 to suddenly feel like a completely different basketball game. It looks more like 2K taking what worked last year and trying to fix some of its weaker areas, particularly defense and AI. Then we have MyNBA, and this mode hasn't been reinvented, but franchise players are getting some serious improvements underneath the hood. Free agency and roster management are becoming deeper with player demands, four-team trades, contract buyouts, Eurostash contracts, and better implementation of things like the NBA's second apron. Relationships matter more too. Friendships, rivalries, and personality clashes can affect chemistry, while the new GM trust system means constantly breaking promises or screwing players over can eventually make negotiations way more difficult. But I think that when it comes to MyNBA, the headline addition is the legacy part, because this basically combines player career and franchise modes into one option. You can choose an existing NBA player, potentially bring him back to his rookie version, control him during games, while also running the team and develop his career over time. You can even continue the save through future generations of his family. And with MyNBA saves lasting now up to 100 years, you can basically create an entire basketball dynasty, which sounds kinda crazy. And then we have player career mode. And I think that MyCAREER gets one of the biggest additions in NBA 2K27. MyCAREER Eras lets you insert your player into 5 different periods of NBA history. You know, the same historical eras that are already available in MyNBA. And it goes beyond just simply changing the rosters. You also get era-specific presentation and atmosphere, yet again, just like in MyNBA. What I think is quite interesting is that the timeline stays historically accurate with real rookie destinations and historical trades happening, so you're essentially inserting your MyPlayer into NBA history, rather than completely rewriting it. And you can also stick with modern NBA. There is a new Fire and Concrete storyline, which is supposedly more than twice as long as last year's, which I think could be good or bad, depending on how it turns out. And lastly, MyCAREER also finally gets proper co-op. Moving on, we have not so microtransactions heaven, also known as the city. And this year it gets plenty of smaller expansions rather than one massive overhaul. The addition that I like the most here is Casual Corner, which is matchmaking designed specifically for new players to help them get into this game mode, without worrying of being stomped by experienced players. And I think that is badly needed because the skill gap in the city is absolutely massive. We will obviously have to see whether experienced players find ways to abuse this system, but the idea itself makes a lot of sense. The city is also fully co-ed now, allowing male and female MyPlayers to compete together. Rec gets 5 different environments to add some, much needed diversity and variety throughout the entire year so you don't stare at the same freaking court all the time. And more serious online players get crew headquarters, giving crews their own space for practice, private games, ranked competition, and progression. There are also other additions like daily rivals that basically seems to be pushing people to treat 2K games like a job, and new Street Kings content, but overall I would describe the city this year as expanded rather than reinvented. Moving on, we have MyTeam Changes, and those are mostly quality of life improvements. The biggest one is player XP, which lets individual cards improve simply by using them. The exchange is also being expanded, meaning more of the cards sitting in your collection can actually be turned into something useful. So, nothing revolutionary here, but progression should hopefully feel a little bit more meaningful. And lastly, we have the W and MyWNBA game modes. The W gets some progression improvements this year with some new badges and stuff like that, but I think that the bigger addition is MyWNBA. 2K is essentially bringing the systems and simulation options from MyNBA into Women's League, allowing you to properly manage rosters, trades, drafts, and build long-term WNBA franchise. Multiplayer for female MyPlayers now moves into the city, and I'm actually a little bit worried about the change, and that is because female MyPlayer carriers were really cool before, because they didn't have the same heavy emphasis on in-game transactions like you see in the MyCAREER. And this will definitely change this year, so yeah, that's a bummer. Now, before choosing where to buy NBA 2K27, there are a couple of platform differences worth knowing. First is that the crossplay is still limited to PlayStation 5 and Xbox consoles, meaning PC and Switch 2 players cannot play online with those console players. Nintendo Switch 2 also only gets the standard edition, so there is no Deluxe, Ultra or Early Access there. And if you're wondering whether to buy on PC or console, here's my opinion. If you're mainly into single player modes, I would definitely go with PC. And the reason is that the NBA 2K modding scene has been going crazy over the last few years, and modding these games is incredibly simple compared to most other sports franchises. But if you're mainly interested in online play and you already own a console, I would probably go with PlayStation 5 or Xbox consoles, simply because the online scene is broader and those two platforms are the best for crossplay. So overall, NBA 2K27 looks more interesting now than I actually initially expected. Whether all these changes actually work properly in the game is obviously another question, and that's something that I will be looking at when I review the game, especially from the single player perspective. So if you want to hear more from me about NBA 2K27, make sure to subscribe to my channel. And now I want to know, what do you think about NBA 2K27? Are you buying it at launch, waiting for massive discount later, or perhaps skipping it completely this year? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's all from me in this video. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.